And in against that, the security of the sand barrels right there at the front entrance of pit road.
He obviously had some sort of an issue there. The right front was locked up.
Looked like he tried to get onto pit road, and the right front of that truck was dragging the ground. You can see the sparks there, and it just...
There have definitely been some drivers that were extremely unqualified to be in NASCAR, but still, some of the most qualified and talented drivers made some of the stupidest moves on the racetrack. Just like when Robbie Gordon made this most idiotic move at Sonoma when leading the race.
That is Jim Long.
I wouldn't be walking. If I was Jim Long, I would not be walking. I'd be running. I'd be running down there saying, hey, come on, man. We got a shot at winning this race. Cut us some slack.
That's Richard Childress up on the box, who owns Harvick's car.
Okay, I'll handle it. Don't worry. Just one more minute. Just wait a minute.
You know what, guys? I'm not sure. A caution would not be.
Caution's out.
Stewart, get past Gordon. Here they come. They're running to the caution.
They're racing back to the caution flag. We've watched him be loose all day. Now, this is Kevin Harvick in the 29, turn 7.
To turn 7.
Turn 4 to turn 7.
Harvick's there.
Beating and banging. Stewart saw it happening.
And Tony,
into the S's.
Stewart had the momentum.
You see, this is just what drives me crazy. Robbie Gordon is worried about a lap car, and he lets Tony Stewart take the lead.
The 2017 NASCAR Cup Series champion Martin Truex Jr. overshoots the chicane under caution, and it basically cost him a shot to win. While leading the race under caution, Martin Truex doesn't take the chicane, and he's black flagged and sent to the tail end of the longest line.
Penalty.
Well, here's how he explained it.
Rick, pace car. I was expecting a chicane. Chicane, the front stretch. This is the front stretch chicane. I got you. I don't know why I did that. That was a terrible job.
A pretty funny one is Tyler Reddick thought the race was over during the Homestead race one year. He just lifted off the throttle and started telling his team what a great job they did, as they were screaming on the radio, "Keep going, keep going." This is pretty funny.
Sorry, guys.
Keep going, keep going, and
Keep going. Randall boys, everyone. Great car, great stuff. Proud of all y'all.
Go! It's the last lap, dog.
15 laps to go. Oh, Martin, hang it on.
He's trying to drive the car right now faster and harder than the tires will allow him to.
Oh, no trouble. Championship contender in trouble. Crashing on the back straightaway.
No.
Believe this.
Is that contact with Edwards?
Contact with Carl Edwards, yeah.
Oh, man.
Watch the 99 car of Carl Edwards as Earnhardt Jr. moves up the racetrack. They just make a little bit of contact, at 190 miles per hour. That's the result.
Didn't Junior do something like that?
Here.
Wasn't
it? Was Ryan Newman?
Was it Ryan Newman?
Yeah.
During the 2017 playoff race, Matt Kenseth was involved in a crash and had significant damage. They took it to pit road and tried to fix it. Matt Kenseth had one extra pit crew member that was over the wall that was not allowed. When NASCAR saw this, they disqualified him. They did not penalize him laps. They did not penalize him. They just disqualified him. That is probably one of the worst times NASCAR has ever screwed over a driver. I feel bad for Matt Kenseth because this ultimately cost him a shot at a championship in 2017.
Butcher, Bell, Byron, all getting playoff point.
We got a spin.
Stage points.
The 19th around into turn 1. All the cars, Rick, were checking up really, really hard past the flag stand. And the rest of the field from behind, the second half of the field, just ran right up on the back bumper. A lot of bumper tag and chain reaction happening there.
Steve, is that because those guys who came to pit road didn't want to put any more stress on their tires?
He's got flat tires. This is going to do some damage to the bottom of this race car, Steve.
Yeah, this is definitely going to drag some very important components off the bottom of the race car.
About a 43.
I can't tell if there's damage to the nose of the 6. Let's take a look at it. So
everybody jumps out of the gas really hard. 43 hits the 6, 6 into the 19.
I don't know if Eric Jones didn't know it was the end of the stage or just...
I will be honest with you. There was a couple cars that lifted really, really hard. You know, unusually hard right around 10th spot. Everybody just kind of ran right up on it.
And that was riding along with the 6 that builds submarine.
I still cannot believe this even happened. Coming to the end of stage 1 during the 2023 Texas race, Kyle Larson slammed on his brakes going into turn number 1 after the stage to slow down for the caution. The accordion effect happened behind him, and Martin Truex Jr. got turned under the stage caution. Still unbelievable.
Way down to the inside comes Austin Hill, playoff driver who had a bad day, was trying to make something out of it at the end. Took a very optimistic move down into turn number 1, and here you can see gets into the back of Myatt Snider, spinning him. Now, what's gotten everyone's attention is the discussion afterward. The two drivers appear to be having a discussion, and then what happens next, well, we'll let you draw your own conclusion. NASCAR has seen this footage in the last 30 minutes and have told us that they are going to be talking to both teams and drivers about the incident that took place there.
But from witnesses that were there, Myatt Snider actually got knocked out cold. This is something that is more of an assault side than it is a post-race take.
Wait! Here comes the gun on a caution comes out. The double zero. Looks like a lot of damage there to Quinn Houff.
Now a huge advantage to those cars that stayed on the racetrack.
George.
Oh, he's coming down to try to get to pit road. Oh, wow. Yeah, you can't.
Oh, got Matty D too.
Oh.
He did. I'm assuming he was trying to get to pit road and pitting from
Can't do that.
the middle of the racetrack. Yeah,
That moment right there at Quinn Houff is probably another one of the dumbest ways to enter pit road. Just to take a hard left turn and don't even look where you're going. Quinn Houff takes out some competitors trying to enter pit road, and honestly, it was one of the dumbest things I've ever seen because I witnessed that in person, and that was wild to see. Another moment on this list is Noah Gragson during the 2023 Chicagoland Street Course race. He hit the wall in the same spot multiple times. Even Marty Snider was just so done with it when he was trying to do an interview.
Chase Elliott, one of the best in the business. Noah Gragson's into the tire barrier again.
It was something so hilarious to watch, but poor Noah Gragson got stuck in the wall twice. That day, he probably just wanted to get on a plane and get out of Chicago as fast as he could. Noah Gragson had an abysmal day at Chicago. Some of the most stupidest things that have ever happened on a racetrack was because of NASCAR. NASCAR did not throw a caution after Danica Patrick pounded the wall and oil went all over the racetrack. Heading to the checkered flag of the race, Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin, and other drivers would slip in oil as a huge crash would ensue behind them.
Danica Patrick into the wall, spinning back down into traffic. White flag is out. They're coming to turn 3. Patrick is driven away from the scene. Dry spell for Kevin Harvick and Richard Childress Racing comes to a close at Phoenix. He slides to the finish line while they crash behind him. Keselowski threads the needle as cars crash to the checkered flag.
I don't understand why they didn't throw the caution there. The 10 car was losing a lot of fluid.
Mark Martin, Kurt Busch, Ryan Newman, all torn up. Patrick in the middle of it.
Boyer! No! Gets into Larson, and around goes the rookie.
Hold it up there. Lock it down.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, my gosh.
Actually, goodness had nothing to do with it.
Well, you know, you can look at it any way you want to, but it's the start of the race. You know, you give a little, you take a little, but you mainly give a lot on the start.
You could see that starting to happen well up on the straightaway.
Let's have a look from the helicopter in our aerial view.
You see Larson got a great jump. Got a good jump on the 2 car. He's in the middle, and Clint is right underneath him right there. You know, you could say that the 42 cut down in front of the 15. That's easy enough to call, but by the same token, you're trying to make a first lap. You're finding the first turn.
Back outside, bumper 15 on line for the inside. All right, lock it down here. Lock it down.
Let's ride with Kevin Harvick.
Low. Good job. Keep digging. Still outside. Still outside.
Darrell, there's no getting around it. That was ugly.
Yeah, it was. And here's what happened. I think Kyle Larson knew that Brett Keselowski was to his outside. He wanted to keep him out there. He left the bottom open just a little bit, and Boyer said, hey, that's an opportunity. And he went for it, and unfortunately didn't make it.
This was probably the dumbest thing that Clint Boyer did at Richmond. Oh, wait, never mind. He already did something dumb. But besides that, Clint Boyer drives it in so hard on the first corner of the very first lap in 2014 and takes out Kyle Larson. There was no reason for Bowyer to be driving in over his head like this, but unfortunately for Kyle Larson, he was the victim of Clint Bowyer overdriving the corner and being a complete dummy.
Oh, no.
And caution is out again. Can you believe it? Carson Hocevar destroyed his truck.
I was looking on the scoring monitor that Corey Heim was backing up to Carson Hocevar. I have to believe that that's related.
I believe he just said that's fair. Whew. Big hit. He's right on board with Corey Heim now and see from his vantage point.
The 2023 Truck Series Championship race was a complete joke in itself. The entire race was just laughable and extremely unprofessional by all drivers on the racetrack. But there was one moment that stuck out that was just so awful. And it was when Corey Heim got retaliation on Carson Hocevar. Remember, these two drivers are competing for a championship that very day. So this is extremely dumb by Corey Heim to take out a championship contender. And it was a bad look for NASCAR and both of these drivers, as Hocevar already accidentally wrecked Heim earlier in the race. Heim would then be penalized after the season.
Oh my gosh! He just gets tagged by Jesse Awuji.
What
happened?
Is he thinking?
How does that happen?
Yeah, we got to get another replay to see.
Did the pace car pull out and slow him down pretty quickly in front of the field is the question.
Got to push back, has made it back to pit road. Robbie Gordon helped the 43 back.
Harvick goes
look
in.
at Harvick. We got McMurray at Stewart.
Harvick just took out 4 guys.
That was incredible. Oh, one just barely got by that.
And Harvick just got in there way too deep, got on the brakes, got it loose.
That's an incredible dominoes effect. That's an incredible. I don't think I've seen 3 cars spin like that.
I don't either.
Synchronized spinning, and there's Ron
Fellows is the other car.
After a great run that he had today. You got to give him.
This is just more of a move that shouldn't be made on the racetrack. Kevin Harvick, from so many car links back, overdrives the corner, slides into McMurray, and takes out Tony Stewart, and then Regan Smith goes through the grass at Sonoma. This was a wild wreck with only a few laps to go in the race that was completely unnecessary and avoidable. Alright, we've all seen stupid moments in sports, but there have been some really idiotic moments in NASCAR. There's a lot of forgotten ones too, and hopefully in this video we can go over some that maybe you didn't even know. Just like this one. One of the more forgotten altercations in NASCAR is Kurt Busch and Tony Stewart at Dover. They ended up wrecking each other on the front stretch, and Kurt Busch went down pit road when Tony Stewart was doing his pit stop and stopped right next to him in one of the most stupidest ways possible. Busch was fined, docked points, and placed on probation.
Tony Stewart comes to pit road, and then Kurt Busch comes in as they're looking at the damage to Stewart's car. Kurt comes up to offer his opinion.
And guess what? They got the 2 car parked
for the day.
Meet me at the Oval office, please.
Yeah, it's nothing to play around with there with crew members out there that basically have no protection.
Trackhouse. Oh, we got a crash on the front straightaway. The 20 car, Christopher Bell, and the 1 get together, coming off a turn 4. Christopher Bell.
I'm gonna take you back up. Slow down.
Ross trying to go to the outside of the 20 here. Got a good positioning. He goes to the outside, and the 20 trying to protect that position up the racetrack.
And Ross had just come out on tires, was trying to get back by the 20, and Christopher Bell just...
Oh, Jimmy Johnson just turned Jeff Burton. They both go around. Turn 1, Burton in the wall. Johnson spinning to the bottom. And Harvick spins into David Reagan. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my.
David Reagan all piled up, and I'm curious to see how Kevin Harvick, unable to get around as the others leaders did.
You know, I think he could have been in a blind spot right behind those cars in front of him. Let's see what he sees.
Back it down, back it down.
See, can't see, can't see, can't see.
Right here, easy.
Talk about being hard on the brakes. Kevin Harvick, in one of the most dominant cars he had that night in Bristol of 2015, overdrives turn 1 as there's an accident right in front of him. He would slam on the brakes and ultimately spin his car right into the accident. This was an extremely boneheaded move by Kevin Harvick. When battling for some stage points, Austin Hill totally pulls one of the most idiotic moves and clears himself and crashes Riley Herbst. Riley Herbst would be spun through the grass, but thankfully he didn't have any damage to end his day. But this is one of the dumbest things Austin Hill has probably ever done on the racetrack.
Protect your right rear.
He drifts up. He's not going to have enough. Sam Mayer is going to win stage 2. Second stage win of 2024. The 98 goes around. Did he have some help from the 21?
Oh, there was definite contact. I couldn't tell who changed lanes and who's at fault, but there was definite contact between the 21 and the 98. And that cost him stage points.
Under 5 laps to go. Kyle Busch hooks the left side. He takes a lead there into the wall. Kyle Busch into the wall.
Outside.
All the way up to the wall, and the caution comes out.
Yikes. Talk about flipping yourself after trying to wreck your competitor. Corey LaJoie is making an enemy, and it's himself. This is one of the most embarrassing moments in NASCAR history.
Makes contact, and then there, as soon as the car gets sideways, there just lifts the car.
And again, to give you, well, let's hear from Dave first.
On pit road now is the 8.
Gave our safety crew immediately to Corey as he climbs out of that race car.
We can see if we can discover what happened here. And there in the top of the picture, you saw some smoke coming off the wheels of car number 23, the Bear car of Bob and Richard Bear from Oxford, Maine, and the car sliding, coming up across the top of the tunnel. People darting, getting out of the way, as those are press photographers up there and safety personnel.
I have never in all my years coming to Daytona seen a car take such an incredible car.
This one just looks kind of hilarious. I'm not really sure what happened to Jeff Bodine, but he ends up in the infield grass and then proceeds just to drive in with the RV and the campers without like hesitation. It was just a really funny thing to watch because it's like he was done for the race and he just wanted to go have fun with all the fans. Speaking of fans, now this fan's an idiot. Running across a live racetrack under green flag conditions with race cars heading over 200 miles per hour in your direction. This is something you should never do while living. I'm sorry, this was stupid. Be one of the most wackiest pit stops in NASCAR I've ever seen. The gas can man left the gas can on top of the deck lid as Casey Kane exited his pit stall.
Uh-oh. That's not the way it's designed to work. I guarantee you.
I've never seen that.
Kyle said when the sun came out, our car took off, so he's really good right now.
There's the 83 at Casey Kane, and you know that it's not very good for your aerodynamics when you got that can sticking out the back end. Well, he's had a tough day on pit road, missed his box on the first stop, but off and away for the 83 of Kane.
Well, I'm sure Sunoco appreciated the extra exposure.
You know, they say if you stay around something long enough, you'll see everything. I thought I'd seen it all.
Talked about the 83. As you see, there are the top 5 going through your screen. Let's go back to this pit stop.
Yeah, check this out. He leaves the can laying up on the deck lid. Look at that, how it rolls around, hooks on that spoiler. Unbelievable.
Made one full lap around.
That thing would never do that again.
And that's the way they're supposed to look.
The gas can was then hung up on the spoiler for an entire lap until Kane brought it back down pit road and had it removed from the rear of his race car. This has to be a very idiotic move by the gas can man, but this is still very, very funny. Coming to the finish of the Bristol dirt race, Tyler Reddick and Chase Briscoe are battling hard for the win. Briscoe sends it in on Tyler Reddick, ending both of their chances for a shot at the victory, giving the win to Kyle Busch.
Still inside.
One chance.
He
lost his nose a little bit on the 8. He's right on him.
He's there. This
Will
could
he
be
go
big.
for a slide job? This is it. There he goes.
Here you go.
Win for it. Down to the bottom. Slides up into him. Who's going to save it? Neither one. They both spin out. Kyle Busch. And Kyle Busch is going to win barely. Steals one. Holy cow. Tyler Reddick. Oh.
I told you he's going to take a drastic move.
He had to do it.
Yeah.
But he did it.
I think 14. I think if you're in 14, you had to do something. If you're going to try to win the race, these wins are hard to come by, man.
And here comes the 18 of Kyle Busch.
Oh,
Just barely.
So close.
Oh, no.
Kyle Larson. Backstretch. Off of 2. Kevin, you had just told us about how narrow it is over there. There's another problem. There's a bump.
Yeah, and the way that these cars run, a lot of times they bottom out and it'll just jump the back of the car out from underneath you.
Boy, that car's hurt.
Rolling if you can.
Larson was running 19th when the car got out from under him.
The greatest driver in the world makes a mistake at Darlington in 2025, coming off of turn number 2 in the very first couple of laps. Larson overdrives turn number 2 and gets loose on the exit of the corner, wasn't able to save his race car, and goes head-on into the inside wall. And this wasn't the only thing he did on that day. He actually brake-checked Bubba Wallace with a couple laps to go, and then wrecked himself again over 115 laps down. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe button down below. Also, if you've liked this video, I'm pretty sure these videos will catch your eye also.